already Joanne's very ready. Excellent. Okay, let's not waste any time and dive right in. The format I think you know from this morning. If you haven't been outside yet, quick explanation. It's going to be a 12-minute talk followed by a 6-minute round of questions. So feel free to come a bit closer so that you can ask all of the questions that you want. I'm really looking forward to this talk from Johann Romefort, who's managing director at Techstars, and he's going to tell us a little bit about man versus machine. Are you still relevant? Johann.
Thank you. 75 million of jobs will be displaced in 3 years from now. That sounds like bad news. There's the good news, though. 133 million of jobs will be created in the same time span. That, of course, has a huge impact on the workforce. By 2022, more than half of the workforce will have to be reskilled and retrained. So now you might be wondering, this is not, okay. Now you might be wondering, what are the skills you need to develop to stay relevant? And of course, probably you're thinking about, should I learn machine learning, programming, data sciences? What I want to focus on today is, what are the meta skills you need to learn to stay relevant in this future economy? First one is focus. We live in an age of distraction. We are always on our phones. We have a lot of notifications coming in, a lot of emails, phone calls. Our attention is just scattered around. We need to reclaim this capacity to concentrate. The brain is not hack-proof. And a lot of social media companies have figured that out. They're tapping in our reward system to get our attention and distract us for the benefits. On top of that, the brain, the way it works is through repetition. So the more you do something, the better you get at it. Essentially, if you spend your days, let's say 6 to 8 hours of your days on your smartphone being distracted, you get really good at it. And I'm sure you're really good at being distracted at this point. My theory is that short attention span people will be the slaves to the machines really soon, probably already started. People who cannot solve complex problems will be doing manual tasks like labeling data for machines to make them smarter so they can replace even more jobs. So how do we solve that? Well, first thing is removing distractions, stopping notifications from your phone, checking your email maybe twice a day instead of every 10 minutes. Getting into the flow and trying to learn about yourself. How do you do that best? I use an app, for example, called Handle, which generates sounds. Ironically, it's machine learning based, so the sounds are generated by a machine, and it gets me into the zone. Then recharging, not your smartphone, but yourself, your energy. Because if you don't have a good energy, then how can you handle complex tasks? And mindfulness, we've been talking a lot about mindfulness lately. It is a really good technique to get back to your attention and focus on things. Second point, creativity and critical thinking. Well, we've lost a bit of that as well. The thing is, at this point in time, AI systems are highly specialized. So if you have an AI doing one job and an AI doing another job, they cannot go and have coffee and brainstorm new ideas. But you can do that. We have this capacity to remix ideas and create new ones. That's unique to us. Then again, how do we do that? Well, I think a good practice is always questioning the world around us, right? So is this object well designed? Can we improve it, for example? And kind of tap into your creative power to do that on a regular basis and practice. Reading is a good way to generate new ideas as well. It expands your horizon and exposes you to new concepts, new ideas, so you can mix that with your past experience and your other learnings. Sleeping, that sounds trivial, right? But during sleep, the brain forms new connections. That's how we build our memory. During the night, the brain cleans up a few things and make us create new ideas as well. And then taking some time off. Sometimes going on a vacation is a good thing to get back into a creative flow. Or if you're stuck onto a problem in front of your computer, just getting outside, having a little walk can help you solve those kind of things. Third meta skill is human connection, and that's a really important one. And the first point I want to touch on is empathy. That's our unique ability to understand the feeling of someone else and to build a deep connection with someone. The world is a complex network of people, and part of our job is to have some sort of influence on this network. That's also how we build our careers. To have this influence, we need to be able to build strong connection with the nodes in this network, so other people. And to do that, we need to tap into empathy. So right now, AI is not capable of those things. It's not capable of love or emotions. It might at some point, but we are far from it. So again, how do we do that? How do we retrain our brain to be more empathetic? Well, through listening is a good practice. Focusing your attention on a conversation with someone is a good way to build a strong relation with this person. Asking them questions like, how can I help? Being helpful to others is a good way to build connection on a deeper level. And being authentic and vulnerable. A lot of people just don't want to show emotion. They fear this vulnerability. And I do think that the more you're vulnerable, the stronger the connection you're going to build are going to be. Storytelling. Well, we've been storytellers since the beginning of ages. It's been 30,000 years that we are telling stories. That's how we share our culture. Through generations, that's how we share our ideas. And more importantly, that's how we influence people. And that's a really unique exponential skill that humans have, because one idea can actually reach millions of people. So again, how do we do that? Well, by tapping into emotion. And again, that's something that the machine cannot do at this point. People won't remember what you say, but they will remember how you made them feel. Another thing is to tap into, to identifying what is a common ground to tell your story. Because if you tell the right story to the wrong audience or in the wrong way, it's not going to have the same impact. It starts at school, and unfortunately, our school system is kind of obsolete. It's been created for the industrial era, and it's not really suited for the new skills we need to acquire. If you look at those meta skills I just talked about, how many times you have told your kid, concentrate on your homework? On the other hand, when did you taught them how to concentrate? Probably you didn't. The same with human connection. We don't teach our kids to create influence in the network, how to connect with people and influence them. So, in face of AI, we have a lot of challenges, obviously, but I do think that we have a unique opportunity as well, which is to elevate our consciousness to a higher degree, and maybe through that, we'll also be able to save the planet. It's just another step in our evolution. Thank you.
You're very much in time. You thought you wouldn't be in time, but you're very much in time. Thank you very much, Johann. A tech evangelist evangelizing about more consciousness and mindfulness. It's very nice. Does anyone have any questions that you'd like to ask? We have a 6-minute question round. Quick hand up. I'll come down the stairs. Yes. Please come closer.
Thank you. Highly interesting. This morning, Peter Jäger already spoke about AI. And what is your view on everyday life in maybe 10, 20 years? What do we do if AI does all the work?
Well, we'll have a lot of free time to do a lot of interesting things, I hope. I mean, that comes with a lot of challenges. It's really hard to tell how it's going to be in 10 years, mostly because technology advancement is not linear. We have a tendency to think about it that way, that it's just going in the same direction, but it's not. It's just going like that. So trying to kind of get where we'll be in 10, 15 years from now it's actually quite tough. We can imagine that, maybe in 5 years we will have autonomous driving cars on the street, but then what in 10 years, 15 years? Like, do we have singularity by then? Do we have like robot rights and things like that? Don't know really. To come back to your question, I think, as I said, like there will be a lot of new jobs actually created. So it's the case with any new technology. It's not that it removes jobs from the market. It does in a certain way, but it mostly displays them and create new ones. So I'm not too worried that we will have too much time on our hands. If we do, then we'll be able to enjoy life better.
Pleading for more life enjoyment. Very good. Any other questions? Giving you all a minute? No. All right. Thank you very much. We're doing this so that then you have a little bit more of a break time. So at the end of the talks, if they end up earlier, that's good. More break. So have a nice break.